to the Standing Committee meeting on Wednesday, December 11th for a motion titled Preserving of the City's Purchasing Power Through Diversification of Financial Resources, Becoming a Bitcoin-Friendly City.
Now, we have reached out to the mayor's office for details. We haven't received any details yet, but the announcement has already created some buzz in the Bitcoin community. So joining us now with his thoughts is Ethan Liu, an editor at the Globe and Mail, author of Once a Bitcoin Miner, Scandal and Turmoil in the Cryptocurrency Wild West. And we've caught up with Ethan in Toronto today. Ethan, hi there. Good afternoon.
Hi, Gloria. Thank you for having me.
I'm focusing in on the diversification of financial resources. I mean, could this be something where residents pay the city for things like, I don't know, maybe parking tickets or property taxes using Bitcoin?
I wouldn't be surprised if eventually Vancouver allows people to do that, but that does not seem to be what the mayor is saying. And there are quite a few cities in Canada that do allow people to do that. And ultimately, what they actually do is when you pay what you pay the city in Bitcoin, it gets converted to cash right away. It doesn't make a difference to the city. But if Ken Sim is a big Bitcoin supporter, maybe he envisions doing it differently. Who knows?
Well, okay, if someone does want to pay with Bitcoin, I mean, what would be the advantage to do that? Why would you want to do that?
Hmm. Well, it depends on advantage to whom. Um, I think for if you are, say, like a Bitcoin proponent, if you're an investor, you would want to see wider adoption for it. Um, if you are the city, if you are Ken Sim, maybe you think having Bitcoin and holding on to it is a good thing. And so maybe that's why you want to receive part of your money in Bitcoin.
I see. Now, if the city adds Bitcoin to the city's treasury holding, and from what you just said, it would get converted into cash. So I don't know if that would be the case. And again, this is all speculation here. So thanks for joining us for that speculation. I mean, if it would add Bitcoin though to the city's treasury holding, what kinds of questions should residents and taxpayers be asking about that?
So first of all, I'm not an expert on municipal finance. I don't know how much money the city has and how much money out of all the money the city has, how much of it is for investing and how where it puts its investing money. So there are lots of question marks in this. I would I would say a good case study is El Salvador. So that is a country that actually put a lot of its money in Bitcoin, and it's in the black right now. And El Salvador, it's really profiting off of its Bitcoin investments. But we have to recall that it took a long time for it to make this much money. There was a long period when El Salvador was in the red. And so I do have personal investments in Bitcoin. And I think, like many assets into which people put money, over the long term, it goes up. The stock market, over the long term, everything goes up. But there's a saying that the market can remain irrational longer than you can remain solvent. And uh, Bitcoin is quite cyclical. So there are up cycles. We are in the bull market right now, but there are also long bear markets. So uh, will if the city does implement this and if it puts its money into Bitcoin, I think the question for the mayor might be, can he outlast the bear market?
I see. Well, you say it's cyclical. Is another word risky?
Mhm. Well, that's a bit of a subjective term. I think anything is risky, and it depends on how you quantify the risk. How much risk is it, and how much of it you have the stomach for.
Talking about benefits, though, I mean, do we need more established voices representing Bitcoin for it to be more widely trusted? I mean, if this group is not one that you're familiar with, for example.
Mhm. So let's go into the premise of that question. It's interesting. I think every cycle, people get asked this question: when will Bitcoin become mainstream? When will it be more widely accepted? And I to that I would ask, like, what is your definition for becoming mainstream, for becoming widely accepted? Because are we measuring this with, like, objective metrics. Is a barrel of oil mainstream? How many people have investments in gold? But those are things we accept. So I guess the question here is, at what point would you say that Bitcoin has become widely accepted?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're touching on this whole philosophy around Bitcoin of decentralization. I mean, I understand that too. But it is interesting. Bitcoin does often, get in the headlines for its association with organized crime. In your view, is that negative reputation, is that deserved?
Mhm. I don't think so. And I guess to me, I don't think it has that negative of a reputation. It certainly has a reputation problem amongst the wider public. Um, I think if something is so new, if it just bursts onto the scene, you would associate it with what you hear in the news about it. But the currency that is most involved in money laundering and drug trafficking, it's actually the US dollar. But we don't associate that with the US dollar. So I would think, just because people use Bitcoin for bad things doesn't necessarily mean that Bitcoin is bad. People use knives for bad things, but we keep them in our kitchens all the same.
Well, Ethan, I'm really happy to hear from you today. Thank you. And again, I know we're speculating a little bit about what this announcement and this motion coming before City Hall next month could signify, but we appreciate your expertise on this matter for sure. Thank you very much.
It was a pleasure.